You've probably seen the TikToks, the one where women joke about their terrible taste in men. They're always complaining about how they fall for toxic men. And the comments are always full of comments like, because you ignore the nice guys. Or you see the woman saying, I can fix him, and everyone laughing at her. Everyone knows why, because we've all seen it happen before. The guy who lies and cheats. The guy who disappears for 2 days and then comes back again. And then you see that guy and he never struggles with women. Meanwhile, you could be stable, loyal. You can actually treat her incredibly well. And somehow you're treated like you're invisible. So of course we all know the meme. The question is, why does this actually happen? And the reality is that it's darker than you may think. The mistake a lot of men make, they treat attraction like a reward system. Be respectful, loyal, treat her well, because that's what women say they want, and then naturally she'll choose you. But attraction isn't performance based. It's not like you're working a job. It's emotional, it's primal, and honestly, it's irrational. The thing about the men who are labeled bad men, they often trigger strong emotions. Uncertainty, tension, excitement, danger, unintentionally, or maybe intentionally. They make the relationship feel unpredictable, like anything can happen. But the thing with unpredictability, it creates intensity. Meanwhile, good men usually trigger something that's healthier. Stability, reliability, consistency, which obviously those are amazing qualities, right? But they don't create that initial emotional spark, and they definitely don't create intensity. And some of this you may have heard before, but there's a deeper layer to this. This, in my opinion, is the most important factor. Your nervous system learns what normal feels like when you're growing up. So if someone grows up in a peaceful, stable home, then the brain associates love with calm and safety. But if someone grows up in chaos, arguments, emotional instability, their parents are unpredictable, then chaos becomes familiar. Your nervous system adapts to it. And then that's the emotional environment that your brain recognizes. And the thing about the nervous system is primal. Its only job is to really keep you alive. And the thing with that is, it's not sitting there consciously thinking, what is best for me? What it does know, though, is how it stayed alive in the past. You know the term, the devil you know? That's basically what's going on in their nervous system. Because the devil they know is better than whatever they don't. And the nervous system craves familiarity. So in a way, familiarity is safety. So if you grew up in chaos, then that can feel safer than someone who's actually safe. And the crazy thing about this, you don't even have to grow up in like a really bad, unstable home that looks obvious from the outside. Even just emotional invalidation. The father who was slightly unavailable, growing up in a household where you can't talk about emotions, things like that can create the same exact dynamic. And believe it or not, over half the population in the US, they grew up in a household like this. And that's why you see it so frequently. So when they meet someone who's calm and stable, someone who's emotionally grounded, that energy doesn't feel like home. It feels different. It feels strange and boring. And yeah, that person isn't really boring, but their nervous system is not built for peace. Meanwhile, the emotionally volatile guy, the distant guy, the one who is unpredictable, he feels strangely familiar. So the brain often mistakes familiarity for attraction. So when me and my ex broke up, we stayed friends. And she tells me a lot about her current dating life. And ironically, I'm watching this same exact thing play out in her life. There's 2 guys, right? Well, there's more than 2, but you get my point. There is one guy, he's so available, amazing. He takes her out on all these great dates. He's taking her out on trips. I mean, from everything I've heard about this guy, he's amazing. And even she admits, she's like, yeah, he's amazing. He just doesn't trigger me. He doesn't make me feel something. Kind of like I gave in the example, right? Meanwhile, there's this other guy. And I mean, he's not a bad guy by any means. He's just not as good as the good guy. But she's far more interested into the other guy. And it's because he doesn't respond as frequently, because he disappears. He keeps her guessing. She literally told me that she was crying because he didn't respond to her for like 3 days. That's nervous system activation. That's why she feels intensity and draw towards him. So meanwhile, this other guy who's incredible, he hasn't even got to crack once. And the other guy gets to crack when he wants. Isn't that kind of crazy? But this isn't just some joke on the internet. It's a real psychological pattern that shows up everywhere. There's also a chemical component. An unpredictable reward creates dopamine. It's the exact same mechanism behind gambling. A slot machine doesn't reward you every time. It rewards you randomly. And that randomness creates obsession. And some toxic men, they operate the exact same way emotionally. One day they're distant, cold, unavailable. Then they're charming, warm, happy again. They're intense, affectionate. And that contrast creates dopamine spikes. And then the relationship becomes addictive. Not healthy, but addictive. And then the brain starts chasing the next emotional high. And here's the even darker part. Most people don't just tolerate familiar chaos. Their nervous system craves it because it feels like their home. The distant, unpredictable guy, the one who's emotionally unavailable, he often mirrors their childhood experiences. Maybe a distant parent or an unstable relationship growing up. So their brain subconsciously tries to solve the pattern. If I can make this person love me, maybe this time I'll feel better. They're trying to solve childhood wounds to that person. It's tied to their identity. It's not just about the guy treating them well. It's about them earning the love, making themselves feel lovable. If they can make that guy love them, then they're finally lovable. But the thing with these men, the pattern rarely changes. So then it just repeats with different men. And this is why good men often feel confused by dating. You see the red flags immediately. You see the disaster incoming. And you're like, how can she not see this? But attraction isn't based on logic. It's based on what someone's nervous system responds to. So yeah, you might bring stability, respect, consistency. You bring all the best qualities to the table. But when that woman is wired for chaos, consistency doesn't feel exciting. It feels unfamiliar. And if you feel unfamiliar, you get rejected, even when you're better, healthier, etc. The sad part is that most of these women will spend years of their life chasing the wrong type of excitement. It takes a long time to learn that lesson. And some women just never learn that lesson. And the craziest thing to think about, since a lot of people grow up like this, you might just be chasing the wrong woman for the same reason she chases the wrong guy. Just food for thought. I'm out. Peace.